For this next section, clinical case study questions, students are required to complete 5 questions directly related to the care of the older person. For the first question, you'll see that you'll be working with the registered nurse or the enrolled nurse who will be administering medication for the residents. What we want you to do is we want you to identify an example where a medication dose was adjusted because of the person's age, and it may be that there is potentially age-related conditions or effects that are the cause for the adjustment. So, for example, if you think about a person who is older, their metabolism and their excretion of many medications slows down, and this can lead to adverse effects such as constipation. If it's a new onset of constipation, then you may administer laxatives for that person as sort of intermittently, so PRN or as needed. Whereas if it's an ongoing problem for that person, it will be a continuous and consistent medication delivery. What we want you to think about for this particular question is instances where you've had to either increase the laxatives or increase the pain relief related to a physiological condition or problem or symptom that is age related. So for example, pain relief, it might be related to something like osteoarthritis. It could be related to osteoporosis, that kind of thing. We want you to obviously explain the medication, what the alteration to the dose was, and why they decided to make that change. The next question is, we want you to explain a strategy that you implemented for your resident to help assist with companionship and social inclusion for them. We know that these are very important factors for both physical and mental well-being. So we know that the mental benefits can be an increased sense of purpose. They could feel less lonely, will also help with a feeling of value and also feeling like they have better social opportunities. Obviously, physical benefits could be participation in physical activities, maintaining healthy habits, that kind of thing, and setting achievable goals together. So we want you to be thinking about those as the strategies that you implemented. Why did you do that? How did it impact those important factors? How do you think it may have impacted those important factors for your resident? Some examples that I think of are assisting the resident to get to the dining room more frequently for meals, maybe it's pet therapy, attending lifestyle activities, those kinds of things. For the next question, you're required to reflect on a situation where you were interacting with a resident and you identified that they were becoming distressed or demonstrating concerning behaviours because they were unable to communicate their symptoms or concerns. So we want you to describe the situation, how you responded, and perhaps what you might have done differently if you had your time again. Some good examples of where you might see this is people that have perhaps a hearing impairment, ensuring that we are mindful of people with these kinds of disabilities. It could be even a speech impairment, so they're having difficulty expressing themselves. So have a think about opportunities where you perhaps came across a resident who was unable to communicate effectively and this became difficult or distressing for them. Question 4 is basically related to your own values, attitudes and beliefs towards Asian people. We want you to describe how your beliefs have perhaps changed. We know that we need to be more open to new ideas and eliminate our own judgments regarding growing older so that we can provide effective care for the older person as nurses. So we want to think about how this has influenced the way that you would look after the residents in the future. So what's changed in your own personal values from the placement experience? Question 5 is related to the previous observation checklist where you analyse the health information for 2 people, so an older person with dementia and an older person with a disability. So we want you to use that information to complete the following 2 questions. So summarising the health information you collected as well as the nursing interventions that you put in place, both for the person with dementia and then the person with the disability.